weird now, dude. It feels looser, you know what I mean?
I really wish we were recording whenever that was going, because that would have been.
What's up, everybody? Derek and Keenan coming back at you with Test the Algorithm.
So, the moon landing, real or fake? What do you think?
I guess I'll tell you after we watch some videos or whatever. Keenan has some videos for me this time, and I haven't seen none of these, so I can't wait to get into the moon landing. Send it in comments before, do it early. Real or fake? Really would like to know.
You mean tell you what I think?
I would love to know what you think.
Yeah. It's going to be really hard to fake that. It's going to be hard, but I got some videos that we are going to discuss and look at where, it could go one way or the other. So we'll get into it. Here we go.
So you're saying real?
I'm saying right now the evidence shows
too hard to fake.
It's too hard to fake. Yeah, so many people involved in all of that, and yeah, it's going to be a huge, big movie production if it was in fact fake.
So you're going to show me it's real.
I'm going to show you a little.
Both sides?
I'm going to show you some both sides of it.
I can't wait.
So
I can't wait. Let's send a phone call from the moon to Earth to Nixon, right? I can't wait for this.
Well, I mean, at least with AT&T with my iPhone, I get drop calls all the time.
They say that your iPhone has more technology than they had at the time to send it there, get it back, and everything else. Right. So,
I mean, at least with the drop calls, anyways. I mean, that phone call was grainy and staticky, from the moon to here, and I mean, that technology is fantastic back then. And I can barely call you, and we're 5 miles apart without it being dropped.
And it got through the Van Allen radiation belt, but that's a little side note. Yeah, a phone call from there. So,
well, what they had was a big long lead pipe with a nice little cable that made it all the way through. Nice little antenna.
The Van Allen radiation belt.
Yeah. Lead's gonna stop all that stuff from coming in, and I'm completely BSing you, by the way. Did you see the way that he was? Did you see that for a second? He's there going, "We're gonna fight." No, it's a 4-inch PVC pipe that's 50 miles long for the antenna. That's how it got through.
Is that what they say?
No.
Okay, I was about to say, oh my gosh, dude, let's throw some more nonsense in here. Okay, let's I can't wait to get into this the moon landing, right? Let's go.
50 years ago today, the dream of a man on the moon came true.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
That moment still resonates. 650 million people worldwide watched those first grainy images.
My parents were so excited, they were almost crying.
Beautiful, just beautiful.
Beautiful, just beautiful. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Who said that?
It was Buzz, right?
No.
No, which one was it?
Neil was the first one.
Neil. But my question is if Neil was the first person on the moon,
Buzz was right behind him.
But who put the tripod out there for the
camera? Boom. Dude, he okay.
See what
I see how this is going. I see how this is going.
Yeah.
Who in the flip recorded it?
Right.
Because evidently we land on the moon. Biggest accomplishment, by the way, in mankind.
Yeah.
Even today, right? Pretty at that time, Cold War. We had to prove our technological advantages with Russia, right?
Exactly.
Which, by the way, Russia tried to send cosmonauts. You should see the body of the guy that came back, and they sent the first ape into space. And everybody heard, all you baby boomers out there, you watched on TV that, and you seen one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, and you see Neil Armstrong come out Right behind him was Buzz Aldrin. Buzz Aldrin was the second guy on the moon, right? Right behind him on the ladder.
Yep.
Who in the flying flamingo filmed that?
Now,
oh, did they just throw a camera out on the ground first?
With the lack of gravity, it's you shoot it and it just falls right in the place.
It's like a free throw from Shaquille O'Neal. Give me a break, dude.
I mean, if you ever watch this, I mean, don't listen to him. I think you were a fantastic free throw shooter. No. But so having all the money invested into the spacecraft and all that, they had built-in cameras. I mean, fine, different windows, different vantage points, and all that stuff. But who put that camera out there?
I guess technically that would have to be the first guy that stepped foot on the moon, right?
Right.
But the first guy that stepped foot on the moon, look it up, Google it, Neil Armstrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who filmed him?
Exactly. I mean, that camera was a good 20 yards away.
Exactly, big guy.
My guess.
Oh, and by the way, that is what 1960, what 5 or something? What the first Neil Armstrong moon landing was? 63.
69.
69. That's 1969. There ain't no cell phone cameras. So these are like old school cameras with like a VHS or something in it, right? Mm-hmm. Who, where, how did the camera get there?
Right. And transmitted all the way back down to Earth.
Well, I mean, that's later, but yeah, let's go look up on your phone.
Well, how far, it was live, though.
How far is the moon from Earth? It's 666,000 miles away. It's thousands of miles away.
Let's see. It is 238,900 miles. So
238,900.
So 250,000 miles. Yeah. Want to get into the second video?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Walk. This is the footage on those tapes. Sotheby says it's cleaner than what has been seen before because it was recorded on the feed straight from the moon. All other recordings are of a lesser quality, fed out by NASA at the time.
The moonwalk is the only moment that I can think of in human history where the whole world was united.
So, going back to this, the video quality from NASA wasn't the best. It was grainy. It was what? 240p, something like that, if that's a thing.
I would imagine that it's the best it could have been at the time.
Yeah. What do you think?
Well, I mean, basically they just like remastered that video to make it better or whatever. Here's what I wonder when I watch that. You see the guy bouncing, bouncing, right? 1/6 of the Earth's gravity. So basically 1/6 of your weight.
Yeah.
Which, you know what I mean? Basically you weigh 10 pounds, but you have the muscles of 200 pound guy basically, right? See the bouncing?
Yeah.
See how when he remastered the bouncing, like it's not even good there. Right. It's actually more fluffy when he's bouncing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See how he's bouncing though? There's hell of other videos that show like different bouncing techniques when they're walking because they did 10 different landings on the moon. They drove a golf cart on there. They hit golf balls on the moon, all that shit, right? And if you look at this video, him bouncing there, it's different than bouncing from other people. It almost looks like they were on wires, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, just even with the lack of gravity there, you're going to be able to move a little bit faster. But again, me being me, looking back at that going, I mean, it looks like it could be slowed down or sped up in terms of it doesn't look fluid, even though that there's less gravity. It still doesn't look fluid.
1/6. That's what they say. It's 1/6. So basically 1/6 of your weight if you're there.
Yeah.
Well, which means, you have the space suit on or whatever. Let's say the space suit is like a deep diver suit. So let's say it weighs 100 pounds, right?
Sure.
So a 200-pound guy, now he's 300 pounds.
Mhm.
300 pounds, 1/6 of that.
Yep.
So you have the muscles to be able
So-
to jump in, a 200-pound body,
Mhm.
but you're 1/6 of that, which means you should just.
Yeah. So
And
you,
even
you're
the
50,
walking
so you
is
do
different.
you do 50 pounds.
Right.
per
Even the
hour.
walking is different, though, in a lot of these videos. But this is a video that they sent and got back from the moon, guys. From the moon. So, from the moon. I can go fishing, dude, up in the mountains, and I don't have cell phone reception.
On a side note, isn't that kind of nice? Though, where we can just completely unplug. I need that. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, I love
But
that. Get
it's
into the
nice.
mountains or whatever. But dude, you can go fishing. Literally, we'll go fishing, and
Yeah.
we'll have a video on that too. We'll go fishing, and we won't have cell phone reception. But they sent a video
back in '69
to Nixon
Mhm.
from the moon, a direct phone call.
Yeah.
If you guys believe that, I got oceanfront property in Arizona, like the song says. I'll sell it to you.
Do you?
Oh
Is it
yeah,
cheap?
dude, a lot. You want to buy, invest?
I would love to.
Oh yeah, give me
Yeah.
$500 and you'll be the first in line.
That's it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Now,
You got to invest.
Is that? Oh, I was hoping that was.
You got
the
to keep
entire
your spot in line.
thing.
It's gonna cost $500. But if you're the last one there, you get it. It's right on the ocean in Arizona.
Yeah, northern Arizona.
Yeah, it's right on the ocean, dude. You'll see it. It's beautiful.
Well, that's when
I'll send you I'll send you pictures from the moon.
Well, and for every once in a while, so we're doing the whole picture thing. Whether you're hooked up to 5G or Wi-Fi and all that, sometimes my pictures don't even send when we're here.
Remember the other day that I had that picture that we were going to use as our clip or whatever?
Yeah,
it was gone.
Yeah.
It was gone on your text messages. Remember, I sent it to you. It was gone.
Gremlins. Definitely.
But you can call someone from the. Hey, matter of fact, big
quarter
guy.
of a million miles.
Call me next time you go to the moon, okay? So we can fucking prove this garbage.
Well,
dude, let's go to the next one.
You know, if
this is so. Oh my gosh!
If Elon's watching this, I mean, we could. Or Jeff Bezos.
Bezos.
Yeah, I'd love to go up there, do weightless for a little bit.
Elon Musk himself has said we are just going into low Earth orbit.
I know.
The space station is in low Earth orbit. You cannot get past the Van Allen radiation belt. You can't. It's impossible. And by the way, scientists still today, Neil deGrasse Tyson, all them fuckers, right? They'll all say Van Allen radiation belt is there. It's proven. It's true, right? But we still went to the moon and got all the data and got all the video. Back in the day, you would send your pictures through the X-ray in a airport, and it would fry your film. And that's a little X-ray. That is a speck of how powerful the Van Allen radiation belt is. But we brought video from there to here. And by the way, made a phone call. Richard Nixon, the most trustworthy president ever, right? We made a phone call to him from space, saying all that happened. So yeah, we're getting into it now. Yeah, go to the next video.
Here's the next one.
400,000 people worked on the Apollo project. 600 million people watched the moon landing live. If this is a hoax, it's the greatest hoax in history. Bold claims require bold evidence. Is there evidence that the moon landing was faked? Lots of it.
The only thing I gotta say about that clip is that dude needs to not wear a V-neck T-shirt. First of all,
I think it looks nice. During the clip, actually, so he talks to the fish.
He talks to the fish.
Yeah, the fish talks. It's edited. The fish can't talk. But going back in the very beginning, if this was fake, we had all of the workers and everybody in America and the world thinking that this was real. I mean, that's...
No, everybody, the greatest accomplishment in the world at the time.
Yeah.
But it was at the same time with the Russia Cold War, and we had to prove our technological superiority.
Now, is that something that we could fake to prove that we're better? I think it could be. Whether or not we did, we'll put on the front and the rocket launches, and they're up there for how many days they were up there, and it'll everything come back down, and we'll televise and all that, and televising nothing potentially, just to prove that we're the big man on campus.
The movie Apollo 13, you remember that?
Yeah, Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, right?
Yeah.
Dude, that was a failed mission.
Mm-hmm.
But they still went around the dark side of the moon and slung shot around.
Mm-hmm.
Scientists say that the dark side of the moon is like colder than cold.
Mm-hmm.
Colder than cold. Like whatever you think is cold, colder than that. Way colder than that, right? But a failed mission that couldn't get on the moon, slung shot around the moon, and got back here.
Mm-hmm.
Flights get delayed
all the time. I was sitting at O'Hare one day. Oh gosh, O'Hare Airport, and it was February or March, and they had to de-ice our plane, and that's just us sitting there at 0 degrees or whatever it was, but we had ice, and it's just like you're going on the backside, and you're at, let's call it -50.
Let's call it -1,000.
Sure, whatever it may be. I mean, the insulation on that capsule wasn't good enough to keep
Have
them.
you seen the capsule? Have you seen the lander? Have you seen it? They have it. You can see pictures of it. It looks like aluminum foil.
Mm-hmm.
But that is what they did it with. Dude, you watch the movie The Martian. He takes off from Mars after growing potatoes in his own shit and puts a parachute over the tip of his capsule, and that was okay to reconnect with the whatever people that were going to save him. Right. That's it. That in a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
In a vacuum, I guess you could just cover yourself in a parachute and just fly through space, huh?
Potentially. I've never been to space.
Do you know what a vacuum is?
Yeah.
Okay. If we had your hand in a vacuum with a plastic bag around it, we vacuum seal it. The plastic bag is going to seal around your hand like it's a glove.
Yep.
But evidently, you can just put a plastic bag over the tip of the lander and shoot it up into space, and you're good. In 0 gravity.
Yeah.
Vacuum. I don't believe a goddamn thing any of this is saying. I don't believe anything anybody's telling me anymore. It's all a lie. We got more videos. I'm just going to come out and say it. This is garbage. It is fake. We never went there. It is a false flag or whatever you want to call it. There's no way we went there. There is no way. They made a phone. Richard Nixon, dude, he's on the phone. How are you doing? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
From space. At that time, you couldn't even hardly make a phone call from freaking New Zealand to California. You know what I mean?
Well,
but they can make a perfect phone call to Richard Nixon.
When did those party lines stop working?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
So hey, here's the one for the moon.
Could you imagine taking that one all the way? I mean, plausible. That's a big, long party line.
The Earth is spinning from east to west.
Mm-hmm.
Rises in the east, sets in the west, right? The Earth is spinning this many miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
The moon is spinning opposite in the same miles an hour, though. So they're spinning in different ways as they go around. And we can land something on there. We're spinning 66,000 miles, and it's spinning 66,000 miles opposite.
Sure.
Clockwise, counterclockwise.
Sure.
That's why you only see one side of the moon when it goes over you, the man on the moon. Mm-hmm. That's why it's always, from the beginning of recorded time, it's always been that side of the moon. But it's spinning hella fast. And the Earth is spinning the opposite way, hella fast. But we only see one side of the moon all the time. Never changed. Oh, my Lord.
You struck a nerve, I think.
Keep going.
I'm glad I did.
Keep going. It's all good.
Now, in the movies, the sun would be called a key light, which is your main light. And this light in the shadows would be from what's called a fill light. But there's no fill light on the moon, only a key light, the sun. There seems to be a Hollywood lighting technique happening here. Now, you're not going to find any direct evidence of studio lights in any pictures from the moon. NASA's too smart for that. But even in big budget movies, you can sometimes see the cameras and lights in reflections. Now look at this. In the reflection on the helmet, it looks like a neat row of movie lights. And look at the reflection on this photo.
What the heck is that?
That looks a lot like a studio light with the barn doors open. Now here's a photo that shows what looks like a movie prop. This rock is labeled with the letter C, but the crew forgot to remove the label when they started shooting.
The rock thing.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. Speaking about rocks, the U.S. government gave, like, I forget who it was. I'd have to get on my phone, but we gave like another country a moon rock, because we were the ones who went to the moon. We gave them a moon rock. It was like Sweden or somewhere. We gave them like a moon rock, like their prime minister or whatever it is. They tested that rock we gave them, and it was petrified wood. Yeah, which is true. Like I said, I mean this. Yeah,
I think it was the rock for me. Now the row of lights, sure. The row of lights.
That's weird.
Well, so the row of lights coming down the stairs, I think that's plausible. I absolutely do. You want to put as much light down so you can see where you're going. Fine. But,
hold on. You realize if they were on the moon, they landed on the bright side of the moon.
I'm fully aware of which side they landed
Which means
on.
Earth is here, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so you're seeing that bright side
Correct.
of the moon.
Yeah.
Like that's where they were.
Correct. They just needed more light.
Why would you see lights in the background unless it was stars or Earth in the background?
Well, so another conspiracy theorists say that whenever it's so bright, the camera's aperture, I think, is what they call it. They can't focus on you plus the background.
That's bullshit.
Wow.
That's bullshit because I can take a video with my cell phone right now and I can hold like an ace of diamonds and I'm looking in the back bed of my truck and it'll focus on the background more than it will the ace of diamonds. Sure. So it actually will focus aperture-wise, it'll focus on the background more before it focuses in on what's in front of it.
But of this last clip, I think that's the row of lights is the most plausible. Now, if you look at the camera within the actual lens, it looks like studio lighting. Now that's not going to be wherever that's at. Here we go. Yeah. They saw it on the first one. I can't, for some strange reason, can't find it right here. It was only there for a half a second, but it looks exactly like studio lighting.
Right. Boom, 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 boom.
Exactly. Now,
and they always put it on a curve. Studio lighting.
Yeah. Now, like I said, the row of lights, plausible, but that big dome light pointing right down, yeah, that kind of ruined it for me.
Let me ask you something.
And then
because you're talking about lighting, right? The rock is the one that really
yeah,
like
I know. That's
studio form right there.
Maybe
that's the rock that they gave to Sweden. That's petrified wood, huh?
That would be awesome if they still had it.
No, I don't need. I think I'm wrong, but they gave it to another country. You know what I mean? And the other country tested it. You know what I mean? Yeah. They actually called the bluff, and they're like, "Hey, dude, this is like petrified wood from Earth, dude. What are you talking about?" So, yeah, that's a true story, by the way. You could look it up. But yeah, that's okay. Yeah. What's the biggest light in the sky?
The biggest light in the sky? The moon.
The sun.
Well, the sun.
Where in the fuck is the sun?
Well. We're not talking about the sun. The sun's fake in this video.
I'm just saying, dude, like when you're looking at shadows and everything, evidently there's enough light there to cast a shadow, right?
Right.
Where is a shadow light being cast from? It's either artificial light or it's the light of the sun. Because they say the light of the earth only goes, it doesn't go past atmosphere, right?
Yeah, that's what they say.
So it's the sun. All of the background, even before this, like right here, look, I'll show you. Like even before this, like when they're looking, like there, when they're looking there, where's the earth? What is that? Is that the sun?
Right. Yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah, they don't either.
Yeah, you're telling me. Yeah, But the clip that I'm going to show next is by far the most interesting one for me. Is the lack of gravity and
1/6 of the Earth's gravity.
So with the next clip, they're going to show the flag, planting the flag, and it waving and all that. So what they say is they had to put the steel rod at the top, to make it, or else the flag would just go like that.
And this is in zero gravity vacuum.
Yeah. So we'll show the clip, then we'll get into it.
Okay.
Then there's this footage of Neil and Buzz putting up the American flag. But if they were both on the moon's surface, who's shooting the footage? And how is the flag waving if there's no atmosphere on the moon? Now, sure, we've been told that there was an aluminum tube holding up the flag, but it seems to be moving around a lot. Now, here's a picture of what an Apollo astronaut spacesuit looked like. But look at the soles of the shoes. They don't look anything like the footprints the astronauts supposedly made in the lunar dust. And what about the heat? The surface temperature.
So we'll do the flag, then we'll do the shoes. So the flag is with everything there, and sure. I mean, if you brushed up against it, I mean, it's gonna move and all that, and it's gonna stop.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna keep going.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, something's not gonna move without wind.
It's not supposed to have wind in zero gravity in space in a vacuum. There's supposed to be no wind. Matter of fact, that's how the space stations, Elon Musk, all this shit, that's the only way you can propel yourself in space is to burn energy to kind of like a jet spray, and that makes you go forward.
Right.
Because there's no breeze, there's no wind from what they say. Zero gravity in a vacuum.
Right.
But the flag moves.
Correct.
How?
Right. Exactly.
Here's my thing with the flag. You want to hear my thing with the flag? Here's my thing with the flag. We planted the flag on the bright side of the moon. We planted it, America, bitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
No one else has gone there to plant their flag next to ours. And it's on the bright side of the moon that we see all the time. And we're supposed to have the best satellites and the best telescopes that there are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're supposed to be able to see a phone booth from low Earth orbit with our satellites, surveillance satellites, right? And there's these people that say they can see Mars really good with the Lucifer telescope and everything else, right? You realize they haven't seen the flag we planted? You can go right now buy the best telescope you can, a $10,000 telescope off Amazon. Look at the moon. You won't find a flag. Yeah. So you think that flag's really there?
Oh, I don't.
Because let me tell you something. If it's American, it's me, you would see that flag from a regular telescope. Everybody would be able to get their telescope right now, their $100 telescope from friggin' Target or whatever, and you'd be able to look at the moon and you'd see that damn American flag on there. That's the way America rolls, right? But you can have the best telescope there is to where they're charting the cosmos right now. But you can't find the flag on the moon? Yeah. Shut the fuck up, dude. I don't believe in any of this. By the way, I don't believe in none of this. We never went to the moon. We've never been past the Van Allen radiation belt. The International Space Station and every satellite you think what you know looks like a satellite, they are all in low Earth orbit. That's it. That's the bottom line. We've never been past there. Probably never will. That's my saying on it.
Yeah. I think we'll get there eventually. I think as we continue getting technology and all that, I do think that we'll
Hey, fucker, you said you believed in it, but now you're saying eventually, huh?
I know.
I turned you. I told you.
Well,
I turned you.
Or maybe I was pulling the wool over your eyes.
All right. That makes sense too.
Would I have loved to have seen this and we've actually gone versus lying to everybody? Sure, I do. With what I've seen, I don't. Obviously, I didn't go up there. Wasn't a part of it. Do I think that we could go eventually one of these days? Sure. With the evidence that I've personally seen, I don't think.
Let me put it this way. It's kind of funny to me that evidently we went to the moon 10 times in the 60s, right? Or 60s, early 70s, right? Had all these moon missions, right? Went on the moon, planted a flag, drove a golf cart up there, hit a golf ball up there, all that garbage, right? We went there. There is a dude on NASA, one of the leading NASA guys, I forget his name, but I imagine a lot of people are going to know this video. He says that we destroyed all the telemetry data. He says we can go back to the moon in a nanosecond, but it's too hard to get that technology back, and we destroyed all the telemetry data. But now, Elon Musk and all these other fuckers, dude, are saying, "Oh, we'll just skip the moon. We're going to Mars now."
Right. Well, it's bigger.
I don't believe a word in it.
The land
Remember,
will
hey,
be
you remember
cheaper.
back in the day when Elon Musk shot the Tesla into space?
Yeah.
You know what his first word was in the first thing he said when he finally was on the news or whatever doing his debriefing or whatever to the media. You know what his first thing was that he said, because he was getting all kinds of tweets at that time going, "That shit's fake. That shit's fake," right? His first words, dude, were, "Do you know how you know it's real? Because it looks so fake." That's the first thing he said, dude.
Yeah. I mean, he has some logic behind it.
Hey, believe it because it looks so fake.
Well,
Tell me the logic behind that.
right. Yeah.
You can't always believe what you hear. And
No.
You can't always believe what you see.
Not always. Sometimes. Not always.
So at the end of this, yes or no, we went there?
Oh, I don't think so.
No?
No.
I don't think so either. At all. I don't think there's a chance in hell. I think we can get to low Earth orbit and all that. And by the way, all of this ISS, another thing I want to say, all the video from like the ISS, the space station or whatever, dude, it is so flawed. It's so flawed because what they use is they use zero gravity planes. They go up in a parabolic pattern like this in a 747 or whatever. And when you climb and then down in that top of that parabolic state you're in, you're zero gravity. That's when they're filming all this, where they look like this. But then again, you'll see a piece of paper on the side with a pin that's not doing nothing, that's there on wires and shit. You know what I mean? So I don't believe none of this. It is a huge, huge hoax. Huge hoax. And sorry to all you baby boomers out there. I know this was a big deal for all of them, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
It never happened. We never went there. Matter of fact, Russia, the first cosmonaut, the first person ever tried to send to space, I forget the guy's name, but it was a Russian cosmonaut. He barely made it to the Van Allen radiation belt, fried on the way back in, and they have his body. You can find pictures of this on Google. It looks like a piece of charcoal when he came back. So under no circumstance do I think this was a hoax because we had to show American superiority in technology at the time, because that was during the Cold War. I don't think we've ever been there. I don't think we're ever going to go there. I know that basically the sun is the main light, the moon is the lesser light. Here's another little coinky dink for you. You can do this as an experiment to like prove it. In the sun, full sun, right? If you're standing under a shade tree, you're cooler than the sunlight on the ground, right? It might be 100 degrees on the ground. You go in the shade, it'll be 90, right?
Yep, sure.
Did you know that in a full moon, if you're under a shade tree in a full moon, it's warmer in the shade than it is from the direct light?
I did know.
The sun's light is hotter. The moon's light in a full moon is colder.
I knew that actually.
Explain that one. Biblical. Bible says it. It's called the lesser light.
Yeah. I know a lot of people learned something today with that. So thanks for throwing that in.
No problem, buddy.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. And like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. And we'll see you on the next video.
Take care, guys.